Okay, welcome back to the layout. And oh my goodness, there's a silo on the main line. Alright, so in the spirit of the new year and finally getting things done, I got tired of looking at this area here that's not finished. This is kind of the east end of Eugene, toward the back, and I was like, you know what? It's been sitting there with the cork for a long, long time, so I'm gonna, right, wrong, or indifferent, get it wrapped up. It only really needs a little bit of scenery toward the front, because those two buildings are going to sit there, and obviously the silo is obviously going to go back. The backdrop, as terrible as it is, I'm just going to leave it alone. And what I'm doing here, this was the one area, it's underneath the conveyor that goes from this over to the silos. And I was, what do I want to do? Do I want to put a picture? I was like, you know what? I have some Radical Flats stuff laying around. I might as well use it. So that's an office building. It's part of the, refinery industry complex. It's the office, and there it is. I'm tired of messing around. Now the far right side, actually almost 3/4 of it or so, is going to be covered up by the silo. So it's just to cover up that little glaring gap between the top of the bottom of the backdrop and where I stopped painting it. You can see a little bit of a black line right there. That's still gonna be that's gonna be hidden though behind the silo. So alright, so I want to get that in. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I just took it, I cut it out, glued it to some foam core, about 1/8 of an inch, painted it a little bit of a black. It gives a little bit of relief away, and I'm like, good enough, because again, people aren't going to pour over that when they come in here. Then I do need to get the silos back in, and then this little silo set really, I think, needs to come off of that heavier base. That was just there to bring it over safely, so I didn't drop it, so that can come down and get scenic. I'm thinking about doing some stuff. That's just a little shed, just things to make it, to bring it out a little bit from the backdrop. Again, a lot of that's going to fade away once you get it done. And then, I did add the head ties there for that turnout, so I have to get something to throw the turnout in place. I just realized DJ Tower isn't actually in, because I picked it up. I was like, ooh. So I need to get that situated. I was thinking of actually trying, that's from Shorty's layout, and I really like it. I'm thinking of trying to do something on the interior and light it. But I hate to cut into it, but I could do it from the back. So maybe. But again, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. I'm probably spending more time on this video segment than I really want to spend getting this done, which is, okay, that's an exaggeration, but I'm just not going to worry about it too much. I want to get it done, put a couple more small sheds, buildings, relay cabinets, a couple telephone cases, all the rarity type stuff. That'll all go in. But I want to get it wrapped up, because this area's been sitting like this for years, and it's just time to finish it. So it's going to be perfect? No. But I'm to the point now where I'm not worrying as much about trying to be perfect. I just want to get things done. Not that you get sloppy and do things, with no thought, but again, sometimes as model railroaders we tend to overanalyze and over-worry things. So that's where we are. I want to get this whole segment done, about 6 feet or so. It's only about a foot out from the backdrop, so it shouldn't be that long. Get some ballast and get some ground, get some scruffy earth here and there, and then call it done. Alright, so more to come when that's done. DJ Tower I could do more later. I'll think about that. Although I really would, kind of out of respect for Shorty, I'd like to really make that building look nice. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so more to come. And there's one more little pan here that's kind of showing up. I think that it looks weird now. I have weights kind of holding it in because I got it gluing up. I think once it's there behind the backdrop and I do some things here in the foreground, some smaller 3D things. Again, the conveyor goes right across here, so you're not really going to be seeing a lot of it. So, all right, enough babbling. Let's come back when I get this thing worked up. Oh my word, what am I doing? Alright, so one thing I wanted to do in working on the kind of the Eugene East back scenery area, I wanted to get DJ Tower installed. It was just kind of sitting there. I really like this tower. It's scratch built by Shorty Parker. I was able to get it when he dismantled his layout, so it's something I really want to include in tribute to Shorty and all he's done and the influence he's had on me and everything. So I really like it, and it looks really good. It looks like a pretty good match for the actual DJ tower, which I only have a few photographs of. But the one thing I did want to do, since it is kind of in the front of the layout, and you can see it's got those nice second-story windows there, I wanted to put an interior in it. And he had 2 floors, kind of a bottom, I guess a first-story floor, second-story floor. It turns out that to me they were a little bit too high, but I'm not here to talk smack about Shorty's building. But what I decided to do, with a little bit of trepidation, of course, is I went into the back. I figured, how can I do this? Through the roof? What can I do to try to add an interior to this? Well, here's what I did. Through some very careful surgery, as you can see, I created a hatch on the back. And you can see in the top I have some lights. That's an LED light strip that I put in. The wires will come down in the one corner. I'm going to add a second-story floor. I'm not going to worry about the first. And I have that, I'll show you, it's sitting over there. And so I had to cut things out very carefully. I think what I can do is I can get the floor installed with some details. I'm not going to go nuts on it, but it's some details. The lights are in, so they're wired down, and then I'll bring these down and be able to light the interior. I'm probably not going to add other lights. I probably should have a light here, and I'm like, okay. I just want to get some interior to it because I think it'll look kind of nice. Alright, so that's done, and then when I'm done with this, I'll probably just put a patch on the back. You can't really see this at all. I don't think I have anything to match this brick material. I might put a styrene patch and call it done. Paint it red or something like that. You know what I mean? Just to get some on it. So to go in there, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a piece of styrene that I can bring the new floor in underneath it, which is just about the right height. Not perfect, but it's a lot closer. So what I'll do, I'll set that there carefully, and try not to break this and not, damage the sides of the front or the stairs when I'm sawing this up. It's like, yeah, that was fun. Alright, so what I did was I made in 2 halves, because I can't do it, one solid piece. So I'm going to have to put in 2 pieces, and then they'll be joined together inside the building, which you won't be able to see through the windows. But what this is basically just some interior details. Nothing crazy. I don't know what it really looks like. I did some Googling and got some images. I'm like, alright, I'm not going to go nuts on this. But what I have is I have a desk. The guy is sitting there drinking a cup of coffee. There's a rail fan there in the back. There's some lockers. There's a thingamabobber there. That's actually an electrical connector. I was laying around my workbench. I just said, I'm going to glue that on. I made a model board up, which is actually... This does control Eugene East and West, and I don't know that it'll actually be real visible, but that is the actual track plan. I did it in PowerPoint. Made a black rectangle, the size I wanted, drew the lines and the text in white, and then put it inside and grouped it and printed it and glued on a piece of styrene, and there you go. There's a guy there kind of working there at the model board. I'm not going to worry about in the front here, putting all the levers. It's not a hand crank, not an Armstrong interlocking. They converted to electrical, so that there'd be like those little levers you can pull. And I don't know, I'm no expert on that, but I'm not going to worry. I've seen people do it. I'm not going to worry about it because you're not going to see it. A chair, some type of towerish looking control cabinet thing there. Just enough to convey that, yep, there's something going on inside here. So I think that'll look okay. Especially, because, you can see through the windows, but they're not real big. So again, it's one of those things that what I'm learning is most people will come in, if you even have the lights on, they'll look, they'll go, oh, that's cute, where's my train? You know what I mean? So it's not, I'm not going to go crazy on it. I think I wasted a lot of time building interiors that unless you're making a contest model, we're going to show it off, through photographs or videos. Otherwise, you're just not going to see it. So I'm not going to panic about it. So what I'll do is I'll take these 2 halves. and this half will go this way, and it's notched out for the wires. You know, I'll be able to kind of get them in there. I can't do it holding the camera and do anything, but I'll get it in there, glue it in, maybe glue a patch across the two halves on the bottom with another piece of 040 or something like that. I could come along underneath them with another, like a 1/8 square or a 1/4 inch square if I really feel I need it. I don't know that I will. And then, you know, get the back on, and it's good to go on the layout, because everything else is, you know, pretty well done on the tower. I may add some more external details, relay cases and whatnot, but that's what I wanted to do for Shorty's tower. So I don't know if Shorty's going to watch this. I hope not, but no, and it's out of respect for Shorty, because I really like the tower, and I just want to get an interior on it. So, all right, so let me get this thing, get the interior in, glued up, take a look at that, see how the lights work, and then get a patch on the back. I'll probably have to paint the inside as well, since you will be able to see it somewhat through the window. I don't want to leave it, you know, bright white. So I'll do something to paint that to make it kind of blend in a little bit, and then get this ready to go on the layout. Oakley dokley. So here's the new floor from the back, from the cut access hatch side. And it's in there pretty nice. I think it looks pretty good. I glued a little piece across here. I did put a 1/8 square piece on the underside just to help support it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's all styrene. I just lathered the the plastruct bonding in there and let it do its thing. So I think it's going to be okay. The patch I have painted up. I painted the inside same kind of like a color as the floor, and the outside like kind of a brick red color. I'm just going to glue that on. I'm not going to go crazy on it. It's not meant to be a... Let me see if I can turn this. It's not meant to be a showcase model or a contest model of any sort. Just something I wanted to add an interior to. Now this is not even going to be visible, I'm sure. But what I'll do is, maybe I can turn the... Let me see if I can light it and just see what it looks like. Hold on a second here. Ooh, how exciting. Okay, so I have it turned on, and it looks pretty good. Let me see if I do that. Again, I don't know how well this shows up on the video, but you can definitely see the dude inside in there. And again, I'm probably going to lose focus if I try to zoom-a-late here, but and again, it's just to convey the impression that, yeah, there's something going on in there. There's some people. Can't really even see the model board, but hey, I tried. Maybe on the layout it'll be a little bit different, but okay. So that's the intent. That's the effect I was going for. Like I said, the rest of the tower is in pretty decent shape. I may do a little bit of weather in here and there. Again, there's some extra accoutrements to add on the outside in terms of you know, relay cases and all that kind of fun stuff, but that's pretty much it. All right, let me get the back on, do a final bench look, and then we'll get over on the layout. Okay, here's the patch on the back. Then I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I didn't even cut the windows in, because again, you really can't even see this back part. And again, it's not meant to be a contest model or anything like that. It's just I wanted to get the interior in there, and that's all glued on. Again, if I would have had this brick material, I would have been close. I just didn't feel like stopping and waiting and ordering it and getting it on. I wanted to get this all done and go over on the layout. And I'm going to mention why in a moment. Alright, so I also added a little lamp there, non-working, but a lamp on both doors. On this door, and there's one on the other end. I had to fix up and add a little bit of railing here, which was an adventure because it's really small. I think I used some 040 by 040 for the bottom post, and for the handrails, I think it's 020 by 020. And it's glued in there with a little dab of super glue. Then I sprayed it with some of the Vallejo Hobby Spray German Field Gray, which is kind of a nice, good, subdued gray color. It kind of matched what was there, so I think overall it looks pretty good. So now we're pretty much ready to go on the layout. And I just want to mention, right after yesterday's segment, the one you saw just before this. I had literally just turned off the camera, put the phone down, and my phone dings. I got an email, and it was Shorty Parker's wife, Julie, and found out that Shorty Parker passed away yesterday, January 14th, and I just sat here for like 10 minutes and just felt terrible. Didn't want to do anything, but I said no. I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish this because this is one of Shorty's buildings here. I'm gonna get on the layout, and I'm going to be proud that I have it. So when I get it done, and my deepest sympathies and condolences to Julie and the entire Parker family. I know I'm gonna miss Shorty. It was an honor to have known him, and I may do a tribute to him. Just kind of rehash some of the photographs of his layouts. There are some tour videos of his layouts that have proved to be pretty popular, and very, very rightfully so. So I'm not going to belabor it here, but look for something coming up to kind of honor Shorty and show all the stuff I got from his layout that I'm now extremely proud to have on my layout. And that's why I wanted to get this completed and done. So God bless Shorty. Hope Julie's doing okay, and the entire Parker family. And more to come on that. Very, very sad day. But let me just pause here. Let me get this over on the layout, and we'll continue on and have part of Shorty's legacy live on here on my layout. Alright, a little bit in progress here, getting ready to put the ballast, dirt, earth, whatever I'm going to put down. So you can see I got Shorty's dock junction tower in place. And I have some other details. I do have that water crane in the back there, water column, whatever your choice is. A couple other little details there. I figured there'd be some more. It's a relatively larger interlocking, whatever. Little building there. And then that came out of a, who is it? Stewart, I think. It's for their, for water, like for a diesel service, something like that. But I like the little building and the little tanks behind it. I'm not sure why they're there. For the guys to pop in, get out of the weather. Although, for the most part, the guys, when they're down this way, they tend to go into DJ Tower. So, alright, then in the back, I got a couple other things. I have a little beat-up asphalt pad in front of these storage tanks here. I'm probably going to put this silo over here by that building. I don't know why it looks kind of cool and silo-y. That is, I think, a Bachmann. Do they make the scenescapes, or is that Walthers? I don't remember. But it's pre-made, and I painted it and rusted it up a little bit. Then continuing down this way, so I have a little building here. That is a Monster Model Works mine vent fan building. I just wanted it. It just looks kind of cool. It's just something that, again, I'm trying to populate the area with some of the smaller sheds. I had that kit. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to build it. So that's that. That's some type of ventilation for the process here. I don't know what it is. Hey, I didn't design the factory. I'm just looking at it. Over here, I got some things there in the back. That's the MCC, the Motor Control Center that I put in the back. I added a little bit of a walkway just for fun. I don't know why. Along there, you come over to here. There's a little, I was tooling around in my little box of rocks, and I had some of those pike stuff. Cinder block walls, and just made that up. That's scratch built, just some type of little thing. I have no idea why there's a vertical motor there. I just, it looked kind of cool and industrial-ish. So that's that. You can walk up here again into the bulk area here. Again, I don't know what this stuff is. I found it laying in it. I was looking through some stuff for some other details, and said, hey, look at this stuff. Maybe I can make something out of that. I don't know what it is. But there it is, just outside that. Maybe they can unload cars there, or I don't know, something. I don't know what it is. Oh, I do have a light that I'm gonna. It's drying up right now. I'm painting the base concrete. That's gonna go there. And I have another one. I think, where am I looking here? I'm gonna put it in here. So I'll show those next. Let me get that done and wired. And then just a real quick drone up this way. So again, this will all have to get, earth and ballast and whatever. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And then up at this end, this is where it all starts, at the end of the Eugene manufacturing building. Back in there, I tucked in a, I think it's a BLMA, what used to be BLMA, trackside shed or something like that. Yeah, okay, it looks like some type of a little industrial type thing for being next to the tanks here, so I just kind of painted it up and weathered it, and boom. That's where that goes. So, that's where we are here. So now it's time. Now's the time on sprockets when we ballast. Ballast and ground and earth and dirt, whatever I decide to do. So, I'm getting there. Because I want to get this area done and then move forward. But it's been a while, so looking forward to at least getting this area complete and then wire it up, get all the lights working and everything. I think it'll look kind of nice. Alrighty, more to come. Alrighty, a little bit in progress here. What I decided to do was try a technique that I had used over in Lake City, and I kind of like it. It looks a little bit weird right now. What I'm doing is I'm using some mats, some scenic mats. This happens to be one from Mini Highway that I bought. And I cut it up and I put it in there, and I know it looks weird, but what I'm doing here, this is going to be kind of a, a little weedy, bare, in amongst all the different ballast and dirt and industrial dirt I'm going to use and everything. So I kind of cut those up, put them in there, and then I'm going to come back in next, once this dries, with the ballast and the dirt and the ground and the blah blah blah. But you can see I have it in along here, up along the outside of the shed a little bit, and then down in here. There's the other light I'm going to use to kind of light up this area, kind of a little work area for the crews over here. So you can see. I know it looks strange. I understand that. I'm a strange looking dude with a strange looking layout, but it all kind of blends in real nice once you get the mats down and dried, and then you come back and say with the ballast or whatever else you're going to put down, it'll actually look pretty darn nice. I like doing it this way. Otherwise, if you just do all the ballast and dirt and then you come back and say, now I'm going to add some, some foliage. There's always some foliage, a little bit, scruffy type stuff here at the end of the yard and whatnot. It's a lot harder to do to make it look convincing. This way, the ballasts and other scenic items will go right in around it all, kind of bury it on certain spots, and it won't look nearly as angular and as square and straight as things look now, so don't worry about that. And you do need to kind of think about how you want it to look if you're going to do it this way, because you have to kind of have a vision of how you want things to be when you're done, where you kind of want to look scruffy and earthy and with some of the foliage and whatnot. So it's you definitely got to think about it a little bit. But okay, enough babbling. So this is all down and drying up, and then I think tomorrow morning I'll come down and hit the get the ballast and dirt and all the other crap, whatever I'm going to put down. Get that down and get that secured, and then probably by the following day be able to get a real good look at how things are. So, all right, more to come as we progress here. Okie dokie. Finally got everything, everything in the back down. There is ballast and dirt and whatever I was going to do. Blended in with the mats that I kind of cut up and put in place yesterday. So now it's just sitting there drying up, just kind of simmering in its own juices. Take at least a day. I might let it sit longer than that. There is a temptation to want to fiddle, but you just got to stop. And I don't recommend doing it this way. It was really, really annoying getting back, for example, behind the silo, those 4 silos. Now, it's not real visible, so it's not a real big deal. No one's really going to see back there, but, there, and then behind the roly-poly thing here. And just reaching back and behind, around the buildings and whatnot was just annoying. And you got to, you're going to do this, you got to have some real good situational awareness. Because a couple times I got close to my bracket signal. I was like, "Ooh, slow down there, Rambo." Yeah, so you definitely, you know, do as I say, not as I do, right? You don't want to do it this way. You want to get the back stuff done first. And in fact, I probably should have marked where the buildings are and taken them all out, put it in, come back, and then just done some touch-up. But, yeah, what do I know? I sure ain't no master model railroader. But I got it done. It's in, and now it's drying up. So I'm kind of curious to see how different the colors are. Although, as I've progressed in my model railroading adventure, I now know how to fix that. So I'm not as worried about it. If the colors aren't quite right, and if I want to add in some, wear lines, tire lines, that kind of stuff, I can do that now with pigments, so I'm not too worried about it. So, all right, so we'll let this sit. Like I said, what I'll probably do now is just go underneath and hook up not all the, there's a couple lights to hook up. The two here in this little work area. I think that's really all, but I might want to change it to going off a toggle switch, so it might take a little bit of electrical gymnastics down there to do that. But all right, so this is all going to, like I said, it's going to sit. See how it looks. See how the colors come up. There will be some remedial work. There always is. There's some areas where the ballast will move. You put the water down a little bit too much, or anyway, there's always something that you want to come back and fix. And of course, have to clean the track very, very well. And then maybe come back in, add some tufts and grass strips around the base of buildings and that kind of fun stuff. But for now, this is it. So this is a lot. I mean, it's surprising how long it took me. It probably took me all of 4 hours to do this from when I started. Well, if I count yesterday, I'd be up to around 6 or 7 hours. But today, getting the ballast and the dirt and all the ground stuff down and move where I wanted it, and then coming back in with the wet water and diluted Mod Podge, it was all of 4 hours. I don't rush. I just kind of take my time, but it takes a while. So anyway, all right, let's let this set up. Let's get the electrical work done while we're waiting, and we'll see how it looks when it's all dry. Okay, we're back. Next day. So everything's dried up relatively nicely. Still going to take a little bit of while. I'm not going to fiddle on too much more. I'm just going to go ahead and call this done and get the video up, just because there's always more fiddling to do. But let's see what it looks like. I did add a little slag pile there. And then I added an old frog, some rail. 39 foot long, of course. There's a dude back here strolling around just to show some proof of life. There's some stuff going on back here. So overall, it looks pretty good. Now, of course, I need to come in and do some more with, barrels and boxes and bags and trash and debris and all that kind of stuff. But that'll come. That's, I like to get things to the 90% level, 95-ish or so, and then move on to other major projects, because this kind of little stuff I can fiddle with on an evening when I got a couple hours to kill, that kind of stuff. I think it needs some weeds and stuff like that. Not everywhere, but anyway, so that's that. Oh, I did add, not a huge deal, but I went ahead and I had some of these. I think they're from Micro Engineering Turnouts, just little switch stands. So I added them in. The whole ladder now has them. It's a little detail just to add that I had down at this end. I need a lot more. That's amazing how many of those old buggers you need. Alright, now let me do one more quick zoom back pan. Overall, I like it. I like the way it finally finishes this back area here. I'm not sure the backdrop's the greatest. That office building, I'm okay with that. Because it does extend into the cornfield, I guess, which is kind of silly, but you do what you can. Alright, so I do have all the lights up here set on a switch. I added a switch because I'm finding more and more I prefer to do it that way. So you probably can't see. So let me readjust. I'll just take a little bit of a look at the lights here and wrap this up. Okay, crank the ISO to 2000. So this could be very, very grainy. But you can see that's the tower inside DJ Tower. And I don't think I'll be able to focus in there because this camera's not all that good. Focus wise, no, it's not going to. Rats. There's a dude in there. You can't see anything. Okay, that's a fail. But it is lit. So I'm glad I took the time to carefully modify that. And I have the light here. And then the double spotlight. Just giving the guy some light. That may have to work at night. Work at night, you need some light. Inside the unloading area there where the covered hoppers are, that's got lights. So for now, I can always add more. I have a 12-volt bus off the switch, not a big deal. So, okay. Let's go back to the light and see if, I don't think that interior is going to be visible, but hey, I'll give it a shot. Ah, there's Cletus Vaughn Jones drinking his coffee. Alright, so that looks alright. I'm, again, not meant to be a prize winning model, just to kind of show there's things going on. There's the model board. There's a guy working it. There's a chair sitting there. That's just a prizer chair. I just threw it in there. So, alright, good enough. So, it conveys what I wanted it to convey. It's lit, it's life, there's people. And, of course, I'm glad to have Shorty's tower here on the layout. So, alright, hey. So the rest of the scene, I left the one set of lights off just so you can kind of see how the lights look. Alright. Let's go back to full daylight mode and wrap this up. Alright, there we go. Eugene East. Done. Well, okay. 95%? Yeah, I'll call it that. I still want to come in and do a little bit of work with some chalks and some pigments here and there, but nothing major. Really not going to change a whole lot. But there we go. Like I said, all the lights are on the switch. So I can turn them off. I don't want to waste the LED bulbs. Alright, there we go. Again, I don't recommend doing it this way. I really should have done that earlier and done the and done in the back before I finished the front. But okay, again, just use some good situational awareness and be real careful, and got her done. Looks a lot nicer. Okay, I'm not sure what's next. I'm getting lazy. I still haven't started the Transformer Factory, but I probably really ought to do that. Now that I got this area done, and there's some areas I want to do some scenery stuff on, but whatever, I'm babbling. Alright, thanks for watching. More to come as we progress here on the Bennett Railroad. Alright. See you next time.